आ रहा। थोड़ा करीब कर, करीब। कम। साजिया मैडम कौन है ये देने वाले? जल्दी नाम रेडी बच्चे पूरा। Okay. दरवाजा साइड का मैक खुला नहीं खुला, साइड का मैक ये ऑन है। बात हमारी
मैडम आ रहे चेक करे पूरा
ये ऑन करे वो। आइए सर, आइए सर को लेके आओ। कब सर? नहीं आइए। इधर लगाएंगे मैम चेयर है, चेयर है। आइए सर। चल रेडी है, चल रहा ठीक है।
లేవండి ఆనంద
आनंद ये बॉक्स नहीं आ रहा, बॉक्स नहीं आ रहा, आवाज़ नहीं आ रही। साउंड बंद करो।
Environmentalist with badge and plant sampling. Thank you, sir. Now I request T. Rajeshwari, Assistant Professor Mathematics, and Rajendra G. Sir, Lecturer in Physics, to honor Dr. G. Bhanuprakash Reddy Garu, Senior Deputy Director, NIL, Hyderabad, Regional Coordinator, Telangana Academy of Sciences, with badge and plant sapling.
साल में तो తర్వాత అదే ఎప్పుడు చేస్తారు?
Thank you, sir. Now I request Madhusudan sir, lecturer in zoology, and Himeshwaramba madam, lecturer in chemistry, to honor Professor V. Kisapati Garu with plant sapling and practice. Thank you, madam. Now I request Suraya Jabil and Rajavardhan Reddy sir to welcome Nagendra Swami sir with badges and plant sapling.
सर इधर है राजू अमजद मारो जल्दी बोलना नहीं। चलो ठीक है, पढ़ जाओ।
Now I request Rupavani madam, district coordinator, to come under us. Now I request the honorable dignitaries, CPC members, faculty members, and all the participants for the Jyoti
एक चेयर होना, चेयर काम है। ఆన్లైన్ పెట్టు మేడం, తర్వాత ఎక్కడ పెట్టు. మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయ मैडम
आत्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय ब्रह्मज्योति नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय गुरुज्योति नमोस्तुते
फैन ऑन कर दो फैन ऑन कर दो पानी की बॉटल वाला सुला दो पूरे
I request all the dignitaries and the seminar to sing Vande Mataram as mark of the opening of the seminar.
शेयर दो हमारे मुसाफ को इधर बुला लो और एक है शेयर वैसे पीछे है ओके
वन्दे मातरं सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरं शुभ्रजोत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी कुसुमिता सुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिनी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं.
Thank you, sir. The main objective of this national seminar on the role of science and technology confronting environmental issue is to protect our environment for future generation. Nowadays, environmental issue is the major one. Human beings are exploiting resources of earth, resulting in degradation of our biophysical environment. Overpopulation, industrialization, excessive use of fertilizers in agriculture, urbanization, deforestation, excessive use of fossil fuels are the major issues that cause for the degradation of natural environment. So as to confront these environmental issues, this seminar is being held. Now I invite Dr. B. Rupavani Madam, District Coordinator, Telangana Academy of Sciences, to give introductory speech about this seminar.
Thank you very much, madam. Today's chief guest, former director of CCMB and the chairman of National Academy of Sciences, Hyderabad chapter, distinguished CSIR scientist Dr. C.H. Mohan Rao Garu. Today's guest of honor, former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University and in charge Vice Chancellor of Palamuru University, at present Telangana Academy of Sciences President Professor Katta Narasimha Reddy Garu, and Royal Society of Chemistry Deccan Section Secretary Professor V. Pisapati Garu, Telangana Academy of Sciences Regional Coordinator Dr. G. Banu Prakash Reddy Garu, Scientist of National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, and a well-known environmentalist, Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, and Nagendram sir, and our beloved principal madam, all the faculty members of this college and other college faculty members, delegates, students, participants. A delight welcome to this auspicious national seminar. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude towards our Telangana Academy of Science members, President of Telangana Academy of Science, Professor Narasimha Reddy sir, and Regional Coordinator Bhanuprakash Reddy sir, for giving me this opportunity to conduct various seminars at different levels, like in junior colleges, degree colleges, etc. throughout the district. Mahabubnagar district appointed me as district coordinator. Thank you very much, sir. And at the same time, I am very thankful to our principal madam. Just before 1 month, I have asked madam, I came here and I have asked her to conduct this type of program in this college. So on that day, I remember actually I have given a proposal to conduct one day national seminar, but madam is very interested to conduct a seminar of poster and oral presentations. So for that I have taken the risk, not I have, all the faculty members have taken the risk, and constantly they are working since 15 days or since 1 month on this program, and I hope this program will make success. Thank you very much, madam. Now coming to the topic, today's topic, role of science and technology confronting environmental issues. See, nowadays it is a burning problem. Environmental pollution is a burning problem and it is a global issue. See, environment is becoming polluting, so that we are suffering from that, but surprisingly we are the cause for it. So there is a need to reduce the amount of pollutants into the environment. That is our responsibility only. See what happens as the societies are ascending the socio-economic ladder, the list of comfort is also increases. As there is a development in the science and technology, see, that is giving a lot of comfort to the people. So people are always inventing some new techniques and some new products. So that what happens, of course it is giving comfort, but emitting a lot of pollutants in the environment. Naturally, nature is having its own scavengers to clean the air or to clean the environment. But now it is becoming burden to it. It became to a position that it is unable to clean itself. So the cleaning the environment is now on the shoulders of ours. So it is our responsibility to make the environment free, pollution free. For that we have arranged this type of program here, and we have called so many VIPs and other resource persons. Even though they are very busy people, they have accepted our invitation and came over here to give their valuable message and lectures. So I am requesting all the participants only one thing, please do follow the messages and lectures. Why? Because seminar conduct cheyadam anedi, it is not a formal. It is the thing to achieve something, to grasp something from the resource persons and the VIPs. So I am requesting once again, please all of you note down the points which they are giving, and prati okkaru kuda environment ni మనము పొల్యూషన్ లేకుండా చూడాలనేది మన బాధ్యతగా తీసుకొని all of you have to follow the points given by the resource persons and the VIPs. Thank you very much.
Yes, madam, pollution is one of the environmental issue. Thank you, madam. Now I invite Dr. G. Bhanuprakash Reddy Garu, Senior Deputy Director at National Institute of Nutrition, visiting professor to various universities in USA, published 150 research papers in scientific journals, 5 book chapters, 15 students have obtained PhD under his supervision. He is the recipient of various awards. and presently Regional Coordinator of Telangana Academy of Sciences. Now I request you, sir, to give message on this occasion.
అక్కడ ఇవ్వండి.
Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Principal of the college, President of the Academy, that is Telangana Academy of Sciences, Professor Narasimha Reddy garu. We also have Hyderabad Chapter National Academy of Sciences convener, Professor Mohan Rao. He has already been introduced as the former director of CCMB and CSIR Distinguished Scientist, and he has many more to his credit, but for want of time I am not reading all those things. And then we have Professor P. Sapati, who is the in charge of the Dakkan chapter of Royal Society of Chemistry. And for today's program, the most apt person, resource person, that is Professor Purushottam Reddy, and incidentally he belongs to the same district, and he is the main speaker for this theme of the conference. And of course, Rupavani is the coordinator, and we have Sri Nagendra Swami garu sitting along with us. It's a very happy occasion for us. And then all the faculty members, and more importantly for those this program is organized, that is the students of the college. I will take 3 to 5 minutes to say a few words about this whole exercise that we are doing today. But before to that, some of the students sitting at the back, if we want to come in front and occupy the chairs or even sitting in front is fine. If you want to come front, please do so.
చెప్పాలి,
Okay.
ముందు రావాలి.
Okay?
సార్ చెప్పండి.
Well,
Student
in the next 3 to 5 minutes, what I would like to say is that first thing is the Telangana Academy of Science. We have our president with us. Probably he would elaborate more on that. But as a objective of this academy is to promote and inculcate science in the community. When I say in the community, it includes everybody: school students, college students, university students, even common people. And we know the importance of science and the development of the science and its application. We can better utilize the fruits of the science. I think for today's program, it is how to utilize the knowledge that we gain in science and technology for protecting our own environment. Well, it is not actually a good thing to talk about it, but the time has come for us to think that how to protect our own environment. In a normal situation, it is the other way, environment will take care of us. We do not tinker with it. Since we have tinkered and we have manipulated so much so that it is now our responsibility to take care of our own nature. Otherwise, there's a saying that if you protect the nature, nature will protect us. So I think we all have to go with this understanding at the end of this conference, but not just the understanding, how much we really practice that. What Professor Reddy is going to say, what Professor Mohan Rao sir is going to say, and of course Professor Narasimha Reddy sir is going to tell you. That is one aspect. But before to that, as I said, when we formed the Telangana Academy of Science about a few years ago, one of the things the leaders of the academy, both are sitting here, Professor Mohan Rao and Professor Narasimha Reddy, decided to make some regional centers so that we go to the nook and corner of the state and interact with all sections that I just mentioned, students, common people, students of all levels, so that we increase the awareness among the students on various aspects of the nature, health, and other aspects. And then how they can better utilize the science, number one. Number two, how they can be motivated and encouraged to take science as their career, research as their career. All the time when we say science and technology will help us, then who is going to do science and technology? It is you who have to take up that career and then come up with your own solutions and with your own innovations, etc. That's the number one. Number two, a new development is that now Professor Mohan Rao sir has taken over the Hyderabad chapter convener. He is there, but now he wants to activate it is much more than previously it was done. That therefore we have decided to conduct some of the activities together, National Academy as well as Telangana Academy. So today, sir is playing both the roles, Telangana Academy of Science and National Academy of Science. And that's good for us because we are likely to get more funds from National Academy of Science so that we can do much more bigger activities than what we are doing now. Third part is again coming back to the science part. Generally, as an Academy of Science, whether it's National Academy or Telangana Academy, then we can pick up a specific themes like what we are doing today. But in general, what we try to do is, we try to tell the students about the importance of science. I think Dr. Mohan Rao sir and Professor Narasimha Reddy sir will elaborate on that. What is science and how do we utilize it? Many times when we say science and technology, in general, maybe there are exceptions, but in general, in the student community, it is the impression that, okay, I am not going into the science and technology, it's none of my business. I am not worried about it. Let me think about IT or engineering. So, whoever is going to go to science, they will bother about it. That is the first thing I want to remove from your minds, that it is not the case. As I said, it's not only the students, even common people should be knowing about the developments in science. So that how better we can utilize. The best thing is that today we are talking about the environment. Then I think Professor Reddy sir will elaborate, but I take the liberty of adding few points on that. Now, I think we are all talking about how to, and more so this has been put as one of the sustainable development goals. And not by India, it's WHO mandate. So, first of all, you guys should know what are the sustainable development goals. I think Professor Reddy will elaborate on that. But then, very simple way, how do we protect the environment? We all like use the things the way that we are using, and I don't know how many of us will think of planting one tree, either even in your backyard or your front yard or your schoolyard, wherever it is. Raise, how many of you planted a single tree in the last few years, in the last 1 year? I can see only 10 hands. That means now the number of the ants have to increase in the next 1 month, or by the time we get monsoon, that each one of us have to plant at least 10 trees.
Very good.
That's the first thing. Then now we are left and right, we are using plastic. There are two ways. People talk too much about the plastic. I think in my limited understanding, we cannot live without plastic. But the thing is how best we can minimize the usage of it. It's not that we can use water bottles even though it's not required and throw it on the road or throw it in our college campus or ground. And most importantly, I want Professor Reddy to just elaborate or correct me that in some of the rural areas, after this new development, even though we get surface water and it is not so hot, every one of us have the RO plant in our house. I don't know how many of you know how RO process works. It concentrates so much so, to give 1 liter, you have to waste another 5 to 10 liters concentrated until you have to dump it to the around environment. Can you imagine after 10 years how much of this concentrated mineral water that is there in our ground? The request is that if it is not required, we don't have to go for RO water. So please correct me. Only thing is either you can boil it or you can use a UV filter. What I am saying, this is what we need to talk about the science. Science will say, you need not to talk that how I am going to be a scientist, how I do the research. Yes, you can do that later. But today, what you will do as a part of the science. This is one of the things. Then I also have a request for the college or other people not to decorate with the balloons and all such things. It's only request. We are done with a good intention, but let's not do that. Okay, that's another thing. So these are very simple things. It may not even strike to us, but there are so many things like that. But fortunately, of late in the Indian Institute of Petroleum in Dehradun, they have come up with a technology that they can use this waste, including biowaste, to produce the fuel. I think Master Client has taken over with that biofuel also. The second thing is the most dangerous thing that we are going to have is the electronic waste. We are all talking about digital India, but digital India is going to create a havoc because most of us who are in the government office, we know that every year we throw a lot of computer related stuff in the backyard. How we are going to manage that, I don't know, probably Professor Reddy sir has some solution for it. Like this, I can go on saying for another 10-15 minutes, but that's not my intention. Just to tell you some of the examples, how we need to take care of our environment. And another thing, I think Professor Pisapati sir will tell you about the justified use of the drugs and tablets. These days, rural areas, I see wherever we go, we take our own prescription. We don't go to the doctor. If you feel pain, you take a Crocin or you take a painkiller. Please don't do that on your own, or even if the medical shop person gives, you don't use it unless it is emergency to use it. That is also going to create havoc in our health. That has already happened. So what I am trying to tell in nutshell is that this is how we have to utilize our science and technology for our own day-to-day life. Then think about your science career, your future, you developing some technology, you contributing to the development of the nation. That comes as along with your interest and how you want to proceed. With these few words, Now I once again thank all the resource persons and eminent people sitting on the dais, and it is my fortunate and I am lucky to be sharing the platform with all of them. And I get this opportunity because the leadership of the academy thinks that I can do something as a coordinator of the academy. So in my own little way I am trying to do this. Thank you very much.
Very good.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, sir. Sir has told us about the plantation and plastic and RO water, etc. Today we had great opportunity to listen all these in detail in the technical session. Thank you so much, sir. It is my pleasure to invite Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, eminent environmentalist, academician and retired professor of Osmania University, to give a message on this occasion.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, we have very eminent scientists here. Professor Mohan Rao Garu, Professor Narasimha Reddy Garu, Professor P. Sapati Garu, my friend Nagendra Babu, and our top scientists from NIN, Bhanu Prakash Garu, distinguished principal, distinguished faculty and dear students. At the outset, I am extremely happy that the college located in Mahbubnagar is hosting such a big event. We have, literally speaking, top scientists of India, and they are all gathered here, very much concerned about the environmental degradation and trying to focus how science can try to reduce the impact of the negative impacts of development. Friends, for the benefit of the youngsters here, for the students and the faculty, I would like to be brief, but at the same time try to give as much information as possible. We can start right from 1960 onwards, when the subject of environment started blossoming, and that was basically because the Western world, Europe and America, they were always trying to chase goods, and they were aided by industrial revolution, scientific advancements nearly 200 years ago. And finally, it was during the 20th century, around 1960, it was felt that the world was going in a wrong direction. Thinking that they were going on the road to development, they realized that it was a road to destruction. And this was very effectively brought out by Rachel Carson in her book, The Silent Spring. Silent Spring. The spring అంటే ఊట, నీళ్లు ఊరేటువంటి ప్రదేశం. కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఆ ఊట ఎండిపోతుంది. The spring should automatically be, continuous, perennial. Unfortunately, because of the kind of activity that we have been doing, the water tables have gone down, the receding forests, ultimately global warming resulting in climate change, which is affecting everything, including the water spring. But Rachel Carson just took it as an example. And she wrote a wonderful book, The Silent Spring. Here the word spring means the spring of life. The spring of life should be eternal. But unfortunately, we are polluting the air and the water, and we are making it even what we call, we are increasing the toxicity in the air and the water to such an extent that it has become impossible for life to continue to sustain itself. That particular book, which was serialized by New York Times, in fact sensitized America and Europe. And the whole world, got the shock of their times. All of them were thinking that they were moving in the direction of development. But nobody cared to define development. And therefore, it was United Nations who came to the rescue of life on this planet Earth. They took up the subject and they organized the first major global conference in the year 1972 in Stockholm, Sweden, Europe. And the conference was in the year 1972 It was inaugurated on June 5th. That's why June 5th of every year is taken as the World Environment Day. Friends, after 1972, environment as a subject came to occupy the top slots on the agendas of the world universities. Initially it was the universities who got connected. And they started their research, and every scholar was connecting to this wonderful subject. And very soon, hundreds and thousands of articles, PhDs and books were being published. In fact, we can say that there was a whole glut of information on the subject. Again, United Nations was worried, okay, what's happening? We set the agenda, we called for a global attention, but there is, almost every day, so many articles are being published. They wanted to get a first-hand information on the status of the subject, and therefore they appointed a commission. And the name of the commission is World Commission on Environment and Development, WCED. You can ask for it. World Commission on Environment and Development. It was headed by Mrs. Grove Harlem Brundtland. And it was the task given to this particular commission was to review the emerging literature, to classify the research papers, and to come up with a wonderful report on the status of environment and development at the global level. They took 4 years time, sir, and from 1983 to 87 they were constantly on the move. They visited all the continents, important environmental critical areas, the hot spots on the planet Earth. They talked to the governments and the people and the NGOs. And finally, they submitted a report. It's known as the World Commission on WCED report. To consider that report and to adopt the same, United Nations then convened a global conference in the year 1992 at Rio de Janeiro. This particular conference, 92 June again, that was historic. The entire global community, Nagendra Babu was very young those days. I know him since then. Very dynamic. People, that was the time when we connected to this subject. And believe me, friends, the subject of environment was there in the air. Everybody was talking about it. But then unfortunately what happened in India also, a speed breaker, we touched upon a speed breaker, and that was nothing but LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. And the top intelligentsia of this country immediately changed the sides, and they started what we call glorifying LPG. Suddenly they started saying that the public sector was waste, public sector is inefficient, and they started creating an argument which will ultimately privatize a major chunk of the public sector. Well, that is not a deviation, that was a stumbling block. It took quite some time for us people in India and the spirit of the times to overcome the speed breaker, and once again we wanted to set the ball rolling. After 1992, at that particular conference, two important protocols were kept at the Earth Summit Rio. Two protocols for the nations of the world to express their willingness to be part of the what we call discussions. One was on biodiversity and the other was on climate change. And an appeal was made by the UN Secretary General that all those who are very serious about participating in these two, on these two subjects, they should express their willingness. Subsequently, after 1992, United Nations has been organizing the Conference of Parties, COPs, on biodiversity and climate change. And these conferences were being held in different cities throughout the world. And one such particular conference was held in Hyderabad in the year 2010. And that was on biodiversity. Friends, and responded to the findings of the WCED. The World Commission report is in two parts. The first part highlights the major environmental challenges faced by the planet Earth, and these are basically 5. One is the depletion of the first one is the depletion of the ozone layer. Second is global warming. Third is the loss of biodiversity, LOSS. Tarutunna Jiva Vaividyam. Fourth is desertization. And fifth, okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot this is the inaugural session. I will continue in the technical session, but just to sum up. Now these 5 issues, ozone depletion, global warming, loss of biodiversity, spreading desertization, and the danger from nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs. We club it as the danger from nuclear. It is known as the nuclear threat. The scientific community should come forward. Already it's doing its job. They need to find solutions for these big environmental challenges. As far as the depletion of the ozone layer is concerned, substantial work has been done. For global warming, alternatives like solar, wind, geothermal, tidal, bio, etc., they are all there. But in addition to that, we can go on, the research has to be continuous. Necessity is the mother of invention. Today there is almost like a global crisis. We are in the midst of what is popularly described as the 6th mass extinction. Either we all come together and do our bit to protect the planet Earth, or we are all collectively going to be out. So let us do our little bit to protect the planet Earth. I am happy, sir, that all of you have come to Palamur district. While welcoming you and assuring we look forward to your continuous support. And this particular district is fantastic, sir. We have a bit of the Eastern Ghats, Nallamala forest. Of course, unfortunately it has been divided and a part of it, Nallamala has gone to Nagarkanu. But our political divisions doesn't make anything. Nallamala is part of my plan. We'll discuss it.
Very good.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir is explaining his message very nice manner. Thank you so much, sir. Now I invite Professor V. Pisapati Garu, Honorable University in USA, has honor of publishing 85 research papers in national and international journal and credit of awarding 12 PhDs. Sir, please do come on and give your message.
I want to say about what is Rajendra chemistry. Rajendra chemistry is the UK organization, one of the international organizations. Our headquarters in London, administrative office in Cambridge. They have a global network, almost 120 countries. Main aim of Rajendra chemistry to propagate chemical sciences in general and particular chemistry. We inculcate scientific tempo among young minds, starting from the school level to the doctorate level. We conduct seminars, lectures, workshops. I am happy to be here. Thanks to the Telangana Academy of Sciences for inviting me. Even though it's not my specialization, I try my best because I am also part of it to polluting the environment also, how to prevent that. Probably I will discuss in the afternoon. And one thing I want to tell you to the college people, mainly I stress more on the practical aspects of the sciences. Unfortunately, no practicals nowadays. Go by. There are. But nobody is giving an importance. Here is one aspect. My slogan, half theory, half knowledge or no knowledge, unless you couple it with the practicals.
Well.
That way we conduct workshop, top of the brain, from the school to the intermediate, even the BSc level also. Usually I come to the Adarsh Degree College many times. Happens to be Dr. Rupavan is my student, PhD student. That's why I come many times there. I am happy to be here. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Nagendra Swami, sir, CPTC member, to give a message on this occasion.
సభకు నమస్కారం. నేను కూడా ఒక పార్టిసిపెంట్ గా వచ్చాను. Number one, I think almost 2 decades ago, this college did not have sciences. And I'm happy that I was part of the effort to make sure that girls could study sciences here.
Very good.
And this was largely because of the initiative taken by the rural women of this district. When I put to them the question, girls can't have study sciences here, this Ratetta said, Sadhguru Avakasham lekapothe etla? And government was asking us to deposit 5 lakh rupees to start a science center. And we were able to mobilize that amount and then make it available that they could start science center.
Very good.
So I'm glad because of that, today we have dignitaries on the stage here who come and talk to students here. Just to remind you a little bit of history. I'm not from pure sciences stream. I'm a sociologist. And I think all science that can contribute is to see how it can make spring or the fountain of life perennial. But I think we have been seeing things otherwise. And I think the big issue of environment today is that we as people, as human beings, have stopped thinking. And I think the moment you stop thinking, you start sinking. And perhaps end up stinking. And I think this is really the result of our environment today. And I think the big issue is that we have picked up, as Professor Purushottam Reddy was saying, the concerns of environment from the West. But I think we also picked up something which we could have avoided and should have avoided, and that was consumerism. And I think today, consumerism and increasing consumerism is a major contributor for pollution, kind of things that we use in that process. And I think there's also an issue that we have stopped thinking and we also start becoming more lazy. I think laziness is also an issue that we need to talk about. Talking about purification of water. I think years ago they used to put chillaginja as something for purified water.
Pitkari.
But today it's all changed. And I think it's all because the way we are thinking. We are all the problem for environment.
Yes.
And if there has to be any change, we
We have
all have to be the solution.
Very.
That's the only way I think we can make a difference. And if we don't do that, we don't start thinking about it and acting. Not just thinking is not enough. We have to start acting. And we say, okay, planting trees. And I think we have ended up planting trees in the same hole every year. And on record, we have lots of trees to plant it. I don't think we need to plant trees. As part of the process, when we think of చెట్లు పెంచడం నాటడం కాదు. చెట్లు పెంచినప్పుడే అవి సంఖ్యకు వస్తాయి కానీ ఊరికి నాటితే మాత్రమే సంఖ్యకు వచ్చేయగలరు. So I think my appeal is, since we are the problem, let us think how science can help us to really be the solution as well. Thank you very much.
Very.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure to invite Honorable Guest of Honor, Professor Katta Narasimha Reddy Garu, renowned scientist in solid state physics and material sciences, former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Vice Chancellor of Palmore University, visiting Professor of various universities of Italy and USA, published more than 105 research papers in reviewed international journals. 12 research students got doctoral degree under his supervision. Presently President of Telangana Academy of Sciences. My request to you, sir, to address on this occasion.
हैंडबैग दे दो अच्छा नहीं खाली किराए का लायक है वो
Principal of the college, Dr. Mohan Rao Garu, past president of Telangana Academy of Sciences, then Professor P. Sapati, Dr. Bala Prakash Reddy, Professor Purushottam Reddy, Nagendra Babu Garu, all the faculty members, students, and all the participants of this national seminar. We are very happy to organize this particular program here at this particular college. I really appreciate the faculty to identify this particular issue. I am trying to bring this to the student community. And if you are looking at the title of the seminar, it says that the role of science and technology in confronting environmental issues or environmental problems. The confrontation comes only between two different types of groups if they are not agreeing on a certain issue. So the confrontation, the scientists are not confronting with the nature, or we are not confronting with the environmental problems. Right? All the scientists and technologists are trying to solve the problems which are created, problems of the environment created by people or the human beings who are living on this earth. This pollution is not a new problem. This pollution has been there for several thousands of years on the earth. But the rapid environmental degradation started very recently. Recently in the sense maybe about 200 to 300 years back, when the industrial revolution has taken place in the world. The industries and the human beings who are living on this world are the main reasons for creating the environmental problems for the earth. Now these environmental problems have gone to a particular level where it will be very difficult for us, whether we are using science and technology as a source, to solve these problems of environment. We have gone far ahead in damaging the total environment of this globe. What we can do is, now we can only try to rectify, or we should not be able to add more environmental problems to the same. Let us stop this process of degradation of the environment right now. That is what the global media or global the people who are living on this globe are trying to do it. And it is the responsibility of all the governmental agencies now to come forward to do it. And there are several environmental issues or problems right now. And all these environmental issues will stem from only one. One is industrialization, another one is because of the human beings living on this world. If we can actively participate together to solve this problem, I don't think it will be, really very difficult to solve this problem. But all these environmental issues are interconnected. They are not only connected to the science, it's not only the responsibility of the scientists or the technologists of this country to solve this problem, but it should be a collective approach. All of us as human beings will try to solve this problem. We can stem this problem and we can stop at a point where further degradation of this globe can be stopped. By looking at the people here who are attending this seminar to address, I find that Dr. P. Sapati will be talking on the issue on the municipal wastage, how to solve the problem of the municipal wastage. I particularly Professor Purushottam Reddy, who has been championing the cause of environment in this particular state for several years, and is known as an environmental Purushottam Reddy rather than a Professor Purushottam Reddy.
Very.
He is an environmentalist who is fighting on behalf of all of us, with the government And because of this activism, the government has become more active in solving the problems of the state, particularly in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana. And with these great efforts, there are the group of people who are constantly watching what is happening, how the government policies are affecting the environment in the state. And they are acting as the watchdogs of this. And they are our representatives. And today, recently I sent me an article, some couple of months back I believe, that because of their effort, now the government, though the government has announced long back that the Moosi riverfront purification will be taking place. You must not have seen what has happened in Ahmedabad. In Ahmedabad, the similar project has been taken there by the Gujarat government and successfully implemented it. And the state government also wanted similar kind of a project to be implemented in purification of the Moosi. None of you must have seen what real Moosi is. When we were students long back, we have seen what Moosi is, how the floods will be there in Moosi. In last 45, 50 years, we have not seen the water in Moosi at all, except the sewerage of the entire Hyderabad will be flowing into that and making more and more polluted, the water pollution. So now, the issue is not only with the science and technologists, as I said. The science and technologists, we need not tell them what to do. They themselves will identify the problems and they will start working on that. And throughout the world, several groups are very active in working on the issues of environment. But as the society has a greater responsibility in curtailing this. So, the most important issue here is not only from the scientists, the technologist side, but also all of us should try to educate our coming generations about what kind of a damage we are doing to this country or to this globe and how to prevent that. And always we talk about the sustainable development or sustainable nature. So constantly whatever the resources we are using right now, we should be able to refill them so that the next generations will be able to use it. The major issue for the environmental problem is, it stems from the pollution. Pollution is the mother of all the environmental problems. And pollution will be of different types. Just now the earlier speakers were mentioning about the air pollution, water pollution. Now the space pollution also has come. Recently our government has taken a decision to use the space also for the warfare. So the space pollution also has come right now. So in order to solve all this, as I said, the pollution is the mother of all the environmental problems. So what kind of pollution, what is a pollution basically? So what I mean to say is here, we should educate our coming generations, students like you, should also get educated about the environment. And each one of you should contribute for that. So what is a pollution? Pollution is nothing but throwing the waste into the environment. Whatever kind of waste it is, if you are throwing into the environment, it is called a pollution. So all these pollutions basically which were mentioned just now are nothing but they are physical pollutions. And there are the solutions for all these physical problems. And we can find out scientific solutions. People are working in many areas now. The people have got success in confronting with this kind of problems. Now, if you are talking about the pollution, there will be two types of pollution as I said. One is the physical pollution. That is what we have right now.
पूरा पानी फेंक दिया।
And nature will also contribute to the pollution. What kind of pollution nature can contribute? Suppose if you are cutting a tree, the tree again it can degrade and contribute again to the, add strength to the earth. That is not a pollution. but we call it as the natural pollution. Whatever the natural pollutions are there, they are reversible, they are degradable, and all the pollutions can be converted again back into the regular usage. But the physical pollutions are not there. They cannot be retracked, or you cannot, redo it again to get to the original state. So that is the physical pollution. If you are talking about the physical pollution, as I said, air pollution. Air pollution is the biggest contributor for the global warming. Again, you should understand what is a global warming. Global warming, because of the global warming, there are several issues that are popping up right now. Because of the global warming, you must have seen the changes in the weather. And the seasons have changed. Recently, you must have seen in Kerala what has happened. Unprecedented rainfall in Kerala. And in some other elsewhere in the country, you must have seen that the no rain conditions are existing. All this is because of the global warming. The global warming comes because of the greenhouse gases. The gases like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, many other kinds of gases which should be there in the environment will increase the temperature of the earth. How the temperature of the earth is increased? Because when the sunlight is passing through the atmosphere around the globe, the sunlight, the sun radiation will be allowed to fall on the earth. These gases which are surrounding in the environment will allow the gases to allow the sun rays to fall on the earth. And after coming onto the earth, the earth cannot absorb the total radiation from the sun. Therefore, it will be reflected. The reflected radiation again will pass through the environment, where these gases, which are called the greenhouse gases, either they will absorb this energy and absorb this heat energy, and again it will be re-radiated back to the earth so that the earth's temperature will increase. So this kind of a warming of the earth really will be very dangerous, in the sense that if the earth is getting warmed and warm and the ocean temperatures are increasing, there will be a lot of repercussions on the human beings, animals, and all the living creatures, including plants on this earth. And seasons will change. That's what we have seen throughout the world. In Europe, unseasonal rainfalls there. This is all about the global warming. So one has to control the global warming. If you have to control the global warming, you have to see the emissions from the industries like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, sulfur, all this has to be controlled. About 90% of the carbon dioxide and sulfur really contribute for the global warming. Now a scientist from Bangalore, recently I read an article. The scientist from Bangalore, he along with a research group in IISc developed a process where the carbon dioxide can be converted into methane, methanol. The carbon dioxide coupled with the hydrogen will form the methanol. So methanol is basically a energy efficient solution for the petroleum and diesel. You can replace petroleum and diesel, but you can use the methanol. So the methanol production they have done through the process, which is by combining carbon dioxide and hydrogen under certain pressures and using the different types of catalysts, etc. It's not that simple. Theoretically, we can say that carbon dioxide combining with hydrogen will form methanol, etc. So it's not that simple. But scientifically, they worked out, and now today they have achieved the success, and they say that the millions of tons of methanol that is taken, if that is there, the all atmospheric carbon dioxide can be converted slowly to methanol. That will be very useful for all of us. So that kind of research is already going on. Similarly, as far as the water is there, the research is going on how to curtail the sewerage, how to stop the sewerage, how to filter the sewerage and improve the quality of water, etc., etc. So all these issues will be discussed because the 4 or 5 scientists who are right away here to address you about all these problems. So I need not really mention about it. And once again, I will say on behalf of the Telangana Academy of Sciences, always Telangana Academy of Sciences will be at the forefront to go to the different colleges and universities in this state, particularly in rural areas, to organize this kind of seminars, bringing the top scientists at your doorfront so that all of you can interact with them and learn more and more things. With this, I once again thank the local college management and the convener and the coordinator of this program. Thank you very much.
Sir raised a question. Are we using science and technology to solve environmental issues? And these environmental issues are interconnected. Sir, yes. Pollution is the main problem. Yes, environmental issue can solve to educate the people. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request CPDC member, Dr. Pratibha Madam, gynecologist. Thank you, madam. Now I request Pratibha Madam to give a message on this occasion.
Esteemed guests on stage, Sri Dr. Mohan Rao Garu, Professor Katta Narasimha Reddy Garu, Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu, Girija Garu, Bhanu Prakash Reddy Garu, Amina Mumtaz, Baby Zaina, Nagendra Swami Garu, Swati and Rupvani, and all dear lecturers and dear students. First of all, let me congratulate the India Degree College Department of Science and Botany for conducting this excellent program. I think it's high time that we discuss more and more about this. As you all are aware of, you're going to have a hectic session and I wish I can listen to as much as possible. But I'm not sure how much time I can spend. But I was very much particular that at least I would like to listen to a few of the esteemed speeches that are going to follow. One thing comes to my mind, that the most greediest and the most worst of animals is the human being, without a doubt. Because millions of years we have had dinosaurs and much more dangerous animals inhabiting the surface of the earth. Fortunately, they have done nothing to this world. And from prehistoric times when man took over this earth, then started a phase of destruction which is going unabated and continues to destroy our very existence today. There are many reports that within a matter of 10 to 20 years, we are going to lose a majority of our natural resources. So when I keep discussing this with my children, my daughter says that if you want to go anywhere as a sightseeing trip, why don't you visit the natural sightseeing places? Because after 10 to 15 years, you are not going to find any of them. That is the sorry state of affairs today. And it is pertinent and very important that as young budding minds that you think about the slogan which all environmentalists give, reduce, reuse and recycle, and try to give back at least something to the world which has been such a beautiful place that today we are able to enjoy all those natural resources. And I just want to bring forth something a philosopher uttered. There is nothing new except what we have always forgotten. Let us remember what we have forgotten and give back to this world at least something that we have taken from it. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Chairperson of the National Seminar, Honorable Principal Madam, Dr. B.B. Zainab Madam will address the seminar.
ध्यान दो, डिस्टर्ब मत करो. आलस करने आता हूँ.
Honorable Chief Guest Dr. C.H. Mohan Rao, Authority in Biomedical Research India, former Director of CCMB, distinguished guest of honor Professor Kata Narasimha Reddy Garu, President of Telangana Science Academy, distinguished guest of honor Professor K. Purushottam Reddy, noted environmentalist, distinguished guest Dr. Visapati, noted scientist, Senior Director NIL, distinguished guest Professor K. Dr. Pratibha Madam, District Coordinator of the seminar, Dr. B. Rupavani, and Nagendra Swami Sir, PDC member, seminar convener Amina Mumtaz, G. Swati, Vijay Lakshmi, Suraya, CPDC members, paper presenters, students and press, both electronic media and print media. At the outside, I feel privileged to the chairperson of the seminar being the convened by the Department of Life and Physical Sciences. Our forefathers have lived in harmony with nature. The living style of people conform to a geographical area made man to from custom and culture. All these customs and culture and connected to the living principles of nature, that is live and let them live. So man along with the flora and the fauna have lived in harmony with nature for thousands of years, but unfortunately due to the industrialization and the urbanization, the gap among man, animals and forest is getting wider and wider day by day. It resulted is pollution of air, water, land and elements which sustain life on earth. So environmental is the lamp of life. Science and technology have addressed the several issues of man and hardened the civilization of man. In the context present, the concern of the mankind in environmental issues. The topic of the seminar is the genuine one. I hope experts will deliver their scholars' deliberation to address the environmental issues in these proposed seminars. Let me conclude my presidential address remarks with the quote of Mahatma Gandhi. Nature has everything for every man need, but not for his credit. I thank one and all in making this seminar a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It's my pleasure to invite Honorable Chief Guest and the keynote speaker of the national seminar, Dr. C.H. Mohan Rao Garu. He is 1999 recipient of Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award, former Director of Center of Cellular and Molecular Biology in Hyderabad, distinguished scientist in CSIR. Sir is Jagdish Chandra Bose National Fellow at CCMB, visiting professor to the various universities, Japan and USA, Chairman of National Academy of Sciences Hyderabad Chapter. We invite you, sir, to give you keynote address on this occasion.
Friends, I am very happy to be here today and discuss on a very important topic. I am also pleased today to see that every time we go for any meeting, the chief guests or the dignitaries of the dais are given flower bouquets, which will actually waste of money and waste of. Now I see that you are giving the plants. which is a good idea, and this is a nice thing that we take the transaction. This, congratulations for this good idea whoever had this. Now, instead of giving a brief message now and then giving keynote address, I thought I'd just finish in one shot. Dr. Reddy suggested that also. Now, many of you may be knowing, 22nd May. 22nd of May is celebrated as Biodiversity Day. Very important thing. Now, I see that before coming, I just checked up your internet to see who are the students. And you seem to be having BSc in botany and BSc in chemistry. I don't know whether any other subjects. And also there may be other many people sitting over there. What do we understand by biodiversity? Biodiversity means what? Essentially, biodiversity can be understood as all the species living on this planet and their ecosystem. Now, do you know how many species are likely to be there on this planet Earth? There are about 8.7 million. 8.7 million species are likely to be there on this planet Earth. But we don't know any one of them. We only know 1.3 million. So 1.3 million of the species we understand, we know. 8.7 billion are present. It means all our biology students who are sitting here, we have a lot of work to do. A lot of biodiversity programs are possible. There is a high potential for biology scientists. Don't lose that. Now, obviously, if there are 8.7 million species on the globe, we are one of them. Human beings are only one species out of 8.7 billion species. Do we have a right to the entire planet? We don't have a right to the entire planet. We share this planet with the dogs, elephants, monkeys, bacteria, and fungi, everybody. We share it. It is not our own property. We have no business to destroy it the way we are doing it. Just now the speaker was mentioning that when there were dinosaurs in here, they did not destroy the planet, but we have started destroying the planet. The reason, of course, most of the important reason for that is the increase in population that will come to it. I don't know whether you people from Mahbub Nagar to watch English movies. Do we have English movie theaters here? Do you watch English movies? Or at least on TV, something like that? Some of you do. In 2008, of course, movie still goes on. 2008, there's Scott Dickerson. Directed a beautiful movie called The Day Earth Stood Still. The title of the movie is The Day Earth Stood Still. Beautiful movie. In that movie, people from the different planets, areas, come onto the Earth. Purpose is to see that you human beings are destroying the planet. We don't want you here. We don't want humans on this planet. They want to eliminate human beings completely from this planet. Let the planet be given back to animals, other than human beings. The entire plot is that they will have weapons to destroy only human beings and leave all the other animals and plants and trees surviving here. That's the plot of the story. It goes beautifully well, and eventually people convince them that we will take care of the planet, and once they get convinced, they'll go away. It means if you are not going to take care of your planet, somebody is going to do that. You be careful that if you don't take care of your planet, the planet itself will eat you, or somebody else will take care of it. So you have to take care of it. We have an example of this. What can happen? Now, one of the examples we already have. Do you know that planet Earth has a twin sister? There's one twin sister for us, for planet Earth, is Venus. Why do we call Venus our twin sister? Because it has identical or comparable size of the planet Earth and planet Venus are size comparable, and their mass is comparable, the density is comparable, gravitational force is also comparable. The comparison is only there, that ends. There is no life on Venus. Why? Today, if you check out the Venus surface temperature is 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Because 900 degrees Fahrenheit, there is no life. And Russian scientists have discovered it is hot because carbon dioxide layer is there. If Venus has a thick carbon dioxide layer, so temperature is to 900 degrees temperature. They also have sulfuric acid vapor. Because of that, now the entire life place. About 1 year ago, scientists from NASA found out that probably was life on Venus before. It means we are now heading for it. we don't take care of carbon dioxide, thick carbon dioxide layer will come. Our temperature will go to magnetic temperature, there will be no life. Not only you and me and monkeys and elephants, no bacteria will survive. Completely sterile planet will happen if we don't take care. So planet Venus is a warning for us that we should not become Venus-like. So you do take care now or die. That's the bottom of this effect. Now, why is carbon dioxide important? John Tyndall, long time back in 1850, has really coined these terms and discussed this carbon dioxide. Professor Reddy was mentioning to you about how carbon dioxide and these greenhouse gases are dangerous. The simple reason is you need something to absorb energy. Many of you know might be having microwave ovens. In microwave oven, if you start the microwave oven without putting anything in it, nothing happens. Nothing heats up. If you put water, it heats up. If you put only plate, nothing happens. Why? You need something to absorb to generate heat. Now when solar light is coming, sunlight is coming, carbon dioxide will absorb infrared light, infrared part of that further. Because it absorbs, it keeps the energy. Because it's not going back, carbon dioxide not going back, the energy is stored on the surface. Because of that, heat is generated, it is stored on our surface. Constantly sunlight is coming, constantly energy is generated, energy is utilized, and you have absorbed energy always on the surface. So this is causing the problem. Carbon dioxide is the one which is a major problem for our pollution, our today's effects. Now, because of that, carbon dioxide is extremely important. Now, are carbon dioxide levels increasing? Question is that now that we are seeing problems, it means carbon dioxide levels must be increasing. Are they increasing?
Yes.
How do we know they are increasing? Everybody comes on the dais and tells you that carbon dioxide level increasing. What's the proof? How do you know that carbon dioxide levels are increasing? There is a study done for that. You can go to polar ice caps. You know the North Polar, South Polar, the ice caps. In the ice caps, air bubbles are there. Those air bubbles are formed long time ago, thousands of years ago. Air got trapped and there's air bubbles. You can dig deep and collect that air. It means that air belongs to 200-300 years or 500 years back. That air you can see how much carbon dioxide is there. So you will be able to estimate carbon dioxide. When you estimated carbon dioxide, it was found to be 270 parts per million. 270 parts per million. Now, what is the level of carbon dioxide? How do we measure now? There is a global measuring center in Hawaii. Hawaii Islands you must have heard. Hawaii is about 3,000 miles from any surface area, from either Japan or from United States. In Hawaii Island, there is a device, there is a system which measures the carbon dioxide. Now, when they measured carbon dioxide in 1958, okay, this became 315 parts per million. 270 parts per million became 315 parts per million in 1958. That is because of industrial changes and things like that. Now in 2004, when they measured again, it is 380 parts per million in 2004. In 2018, last year, it was 409 parts per million. In 2019, it is 412. Now there is a website there, they measure carbon dioxide put every day. 2 days ago, carbon dioxide level was 414.56. So 270 has become 414.56. And in few years, 2018 it was 409, now 2019 it is 414. So rate of increase is dramatically improved. If this continues, very soon we will have thick carbon dioxide layer, means we are going to be Venus. We are going to be Venus means we are not going to have grandchildren. We are the end. We are the end of the population. Do we want that?
No.
If we don't want that, stop it. How do we stop it? Simple solution. Plant trees. I mean, not only plant trees, grow the plant trees. Mokkal naatame kaadu, mokkal benchandi. Mokkal benchite carbon dioxide will be taken back. They will absorb. Because they take back, we will survive. The only and simple solution is to grow plants as many as possible and protect water. These are the two things that we need to do. Important things. Now, when carbon dioxide increases, what will go wrong? What can happen? Again, a scientist called James Hansen in 1981 published a paper saying that carbon dioxide levels are increasing. If they increase, what will happen? He wrote very clearly that they predicted perceptible increase in global temperature. In 1981, he said that global temperature perceptibly increased. Now you see which is increasing. And they also said melting of ice sheets, change in climatic zones, and weather patterns. All this we are seeing. It means whatever he predicted is actually happening. One interesting side story of that is when the scientists published this data, government of America asked him not to speak about that, not to talk about it. Because if you talk about it, people will be concerned that a lot of expenditures will be involved, so they were not allowed not to talk about it. But now, of course, people are very clearly aware of that. Now let us look at the environment once again. One of the madam was mentioning earlier, when a human being was living, there was no need to destroy any forest. Everything was very comfortable. In fact, if you look at the Indian way of living was respect for plants. We respect trees, we respect animals, we respect water. Rivers are worshipped, trees are worshipped, animals are worshipped. It means we had a worship, respect for our nature. Respect for nature was part of our culture. If we might continue the same culture, we would probably have not had difficulty. But one major problem, of course, is greed. One is greed, and second is increase in population. When population increases, you need to have more food. How do you get more food? Science has developed methods to create more food. Now, more people have to transport. How do you transport? Science has developed methods for transporting. Now, science has developed methods for communication. Science has developed methods for plastic water, bottled water. Now, science has developed this method because of increase in population. Now, whatever science has developed, those are the ones that cause problems to you. The cars are problematic. Plastic is problematic. Everything that science has developed is now becoming problematic. It means science has created a problem. Science has to find the solution as well. Now, science has created the problem because of population explosion. So, if population is controlled, and other populations are allowed to grow, then we solve the problems. Plant trees have less children. Have more plants. That's a solution for our problem, our today's problem. Unsustainable exploitation is the one which is causing the more problem. Ignorance is there, pollution is there. This is the one we should actually understand. The pollution levels, we don't appreciate them. For example, when we are living in Hyderabad city, most of us really don't know how badly the cities are polluted. I could understand how badly cities is polluted when I went to Himalayas. We went to Leh. When I went to Leh, and on the night of Leh, one moonlight, when we climbed up the place, the place is so beautiful, moonlight is so bright, we could take pictures, photographs with the camera without flashlight in moonlight. Because moonlight is bright. Why is moonlight so bright? Because there is nothing to stop it between. Pollution is stopping the moonlight here, so we don't get that beautiful moonlight. So there is no pollution in Himalayas. So we are able to see that. So our cities are so badly polluted, so we have to stop that. Major cause of concern is carbon dioxide. Now, why is carbon dioxide increasing? We have now seen that carbon dioxide increasing is causing problem. Why is carbon dioxide increasing? It is largely increasing because of our energy requirements. Our energy requirements are coming. You need electricity. How is electricity produced? By burning carbon. Now you are needing cars, you are transport by diesel and petrol. Now whatever energy requirements, our energy requirements are a major source of producing carbon dioxide. Now look at the energy pollution. India wanted or utilized 255 gigawatts. 255 gigawatts in 2014. 2014 our expenditure, national expenditure of power is 255 gigawatts. Okay. Out of that, 72% came from non-renewable sources. Now, renewable sources only 28%. What are renewable sources? Solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy. These are 3%, only 28% came from that. Now, our GDP growth is something like 8%. If we continue at the rate of 8% GDP, our industrial requirement by 2024 will increase to 550 gigawatts. We need energy of 550 gigawatts. 255 gigawatts will produce so much of carbon dioxide. Now we need 550 gigawatts by 2024. How do we produce this energy? It is 8% to GDP. If our governments are more enthusiastic and they become 9% GDP, our requirement will be 603 gigawatts by 2024. If you want to develop a country, you want a high GDP rate, you are going to have high carbon dioxide. These are inevitable, these are unavoidable things. Now how do we do that? What can we do? the best way to do is to cut down on carbon dioxide based production. Use solar energy. Okay. Solar energy can be utilized very effectively. Now, country like Germany is a very small country. Okay. Germany country is something like is about 375,000 square kilometers, and they produced 33 gigawatts of power in 2012. India has 32 lakh thousand kilometers. Our installed capacity is only 1.2 gigawatts. So we are 30 times bigger than Germany. They produce 33 gigawatts in 1 year. We produce 1.7 gigawatts. So obviously there is a big gap. What is this gap? You have to use solar energy. All your buildings have so much surface. Why don't you put solar panels everywhere? If you put solar panels everywhere, your electricity bill will come down. Your college expenditure will come down. So spend little money and put solar panels. Government will subsidize solar panels. So use solar panels. If you use the solar panels, we will be able to reduce carbon dioxide. So there was a proposal, we discussed with the government, we told the government that 30% of our, 30 to 40% of our energy must come from solar energy in the next 5 years. Not possibility, must come. If it's not going to come, we are not going to survive. So it must come. Beautiful ideas are there. In Gujarat, there is a small canals going on. On the canals, they put the solar panels. Because the canals, you can't grow any agriculture something. Canal water is going on, so land is not getting wasted. At the same time, because solar panel is there, water is not evaporating. So you save evaporation losses and you get the solar energy. Now Telangana government is planning to put solar panels on the fields, on the agricultural fields, but side of the fields. The small piece of land which is not being utilized, you can utilize that. So farmer can generate electricity. He can use that for his own pumping of water, or excess he can give back to the feeder. So this is the plan. Now we have to increase massive amount of solar energy so that we can minimize the carbon dioxide production. We can also put solar energy next to highways. By the side of next to highways, we can put solar energy. And we can put multi-layering of solar energy. Instead of one plate, 2 plates can be put such a way that light still fall. We can design new material. Scientists can design new material so that effective carbon dioxide will be possible. And second thing is, whatever carbon dioxide is already there, can be taken away. Can we put that out? That can be done by fixing carbon dioxide. All plants do carbon dioxide fixation. They take carbon dioxide, they take water, make carbohydrates. Can we do that experimentally, laboratory? The Chinese scientists and American scientists have tried. They suck the air from the atmosphere, send it to and convert it to usable compounds. Usable compounds so that your carbon dioxide levels can be minimized. So this process has to be optimized and industrialized, scale up. When you scale up, that can be minimized. The another problem, other than CO2, the problems are lead. Lead also is a problem. Okay? And young people are sitting here, please note, lead is coming from many sources for us, tap water, Coca-Cola, things like that. Lead is very, very dangerous. If you have 1 to 10 micrograms per dl of blood, your IQ value will decrease by 10 units. Okay? If you have a lead in your water, your IQ will decrease. So all the children who are drinking water which has lead, including cool drinks, will decrease your IQ. So be careful, avoid arsenic. Arsenic causes cancer and skin cancers and bladder cancer, and also leads to diabetes. Okay? Now gene and environment, somatic variations, there are many things that can happen. Now we have to implement strict rules. We never implement any rules. For example, in Hyderabad, when the red light is there, we are supposed to stop. Every citizen knows that when there is a red light, you have to stop. 20 to 30% of people don't bother about it. They just go. And if you stop, unfortunately somebody gets you at the back and he argues with you, why did you stop? Now it means we have rules, but we never enforce the rules. So we have to enforce the rules. Every action against agriculture, against our environment must be stopped, must be very seriously implemented, and we should stop all the pollution. All the citizens who are making any mistake should be punished. We have to react very quickly to this. And we should also teach our children to save water. As somebody was mentioning, Bharata was mentioning, me coming and giving a lecture and Professor Reddy coming and giving a lecture and all, we are go away in 10 minutes. It's not going to be useful for you people. What is that you can do? Practical. That's important. What is that you can do? Plant trees. save water. And first of all, teach your children what is important, because we are likely to go away. Once we go away, our children should know what is important to do. We have to teach our children the importance of protecting nature. That is very, very critical. If we do that, then we will survive. If not, we will not be survived. And also, all of you individually take the responsibility. When you go home, if a light bulb is on, please put it off. You say, you do your work, simple work. Many people think that what is the problem? Everybody in the country is wasting time. Why one bulb, what does make a difference? Don't worry about that. Your bulb is important. You put off your bulb, you put off your fans when not required, so that you will be able to save. Individual responsibility is very, very, very important. In any case, we are sitting on a time bomb. We are sitting on a definite time bomb. Whether we go like a Venus or whether we save ourselves depends on what we do. Let us remember that Mother Earth does not need us. Nature does not need us. Who cares whether we are there or not? Nature, Earth was there for billions of years. Man came only 2-3 million years ago. Before that, Earth was there for billions of years. Earth will continue to be there billions of years afterwards. Whether you are there or not doesn't matter. Earth doesn't need you. You need Earth. Please remember, Earth doesn't need us. We need our Earth. So you have to protect. Whether you protect it or not, if you don't protect, it goes like a Venus and you all will all leave. We leave for the good. We will not be able to come back and live. There is no children for us. So we have to remember that we can change. Like in the movie, the aliens came and wanted to destroy and kill every human being on the planet so that the other animals, other plants live. People convinced them and set them off, said that please don't attack us, we will take care of our planet Earth. Now you take care of your planet Earth. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your keynote address. Now I request all the dignitaries to release the e-Somnia.
हम ज़रा फोटो ले अच्छे सबको एक
It's a pleasure for me to announce we have received more than 30 abstracts from different areas and different colleges.
हम ज़रा पूरी अच्छे से अच्छी फोटो लो. मैडम मेरे को कॉल है विजयलक्ष्मी एंकर ले लो ना विजयलक्ष्मी को लाओ विजयलक्ष्मी का मेरे फोन राजेश आओ इधर साइड को इधर आओ यस यस अमजद बीच में फोटो मारो.
Vijayalakshmi, please come on.
समझे मारो जल्दी से मारो बैठ के लो ना पूरी आना वेरी गुड थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir. It's our honor and pleasure to honor and felicitate our respected guest of the National Seminar.
Mike.
Two suggestions or announcements. From the academy, we publish some books of general importance. ఇవాళ 2-3 రకాల బుక్లు తీసుకొచ్చాము. దాదాపు ఒక 40 కాపీస్ ఉన్నాయి. కొన్ని మీ లైబ్రరీలో ఇచ్చుకోండి, మిగతాయి వచ్చిన డెలిగేట్స్ తీసుకుపోవచ్చు. సరిపోకపోతే అక్కడ రూపవాదిగా అడిగినా నాకు మెసేజ్ ఇచ్చినా మేము మళ్ళీ కావాల్సిన బుక్లు పంపిస్తాం. 2 బుక్లు ఏంటంటే ఒకటి కాలుష్యము దాని ప్రభావం, వెరీ మచ్ రిలేటెడ్ టు టుడేస్ టాపిక్. అండ్ అనదర్ థింగ్ జీవన జ్ఞానంలో రసాయనాలు. There's one more book on diabetes. Okay, whoever is interested about this publication, please contact your district coordinator or any one of us. At the same time, I also request if the faculty or students, any one of you want to write any article of importance of science, please do so. We will encourage you to write, and we will take care of the responsibility of publishing. Thank you.
Now I request G. Swathi, lecturer in chemistry, and K. Pradeep Kumar sir to felicitate our chief guest Dr. C.H. Mohan Rao garu with shawl and mementos.
चलो कहाँ सादिया कहाँ है मेरे को जा राजेश्वरी जा मेरे पास राजेश्वरी मेरे पास सर मारो मारो
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Vijay Lakshmi madam and Madhusudan sir to felicitate Professor K. Narasimha Reddy garu with shawl and mementos.
तुम जाओ 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 जाओ
Now I request Naseem Banu and Chandraya sir to felicitate Professor K. Purushottam Reddy garu with shawl and mementos.
बैठ जाओ जाओ शाल डालो पहले सर
మా ప్రెసిడెంట్ గారు ఒక 2 years క్రితం నాకు ఒక ఆర్డర్ ఇచ్చారు మన కార్యక్రమంలో ఎక్కడ శాల్వాలు ఫ్లవర్ బొకేలు ఉండకూడదని అయినా కూడా ఇవాళ మీరు శాల్వాలు కప్పారు దీని తర్వాత నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను ప్రెసిడెంట్ గారు నన్ను సస్పెండ్ చేయాలని థాంక్యూ
నెక్స్ట్ టైం వి విల్ టేక్
Now I request Suraya Jabin and Naresh Kumar sir to felicitate Dr. Bhanu Prakash Reddy garu with shawl and mementos.
शाल डालो शाल कौन है नेक्स्ट टाइम जाओ नेक्स्ट टाइम
Now I request T. Rajeshwari madam and Raghuveer Gupta sir to felicitate Professor B. T. Sapati garu with shawl and mementos.
इधर डालो बैठ के मार डालो शाल डालो शाल डालो
Thank you, sir. Now I request you, Swati, to felicitate Nagendra Swami sir with shawl and mementos. Sir has sponsored 5,000 rupees to us for the seminar. Thank you so much, sir.
इधर इधर नागेंद्र स्वामी सर
Thank you, sir. Now I request Pushpalata madam to felicitate Dr. Pratibha madam with shawl and mementos.
जाओ हाँ मेरा को डालता है क्या वेरी गुड
She deserves it more because it is her seminar.
మేడం పిచ్చే ఆమె
Now I request Vijay Lakshmi Madam to felicitate our chairperson Dr. B.B. Zainab Madam with shawl and mementos.
जाओ खरीद
Thank you, madam. On behalf of the college, staff, students, we are thankful to our chief guest, Dr. C.H. Mohan Rao Garu, Professor Katta Narsimha Reddy Garu, Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, Dr. G. Bhanuprakash Reddy Garu, Professor V. Pisapati Garu, Nagendra Swami Garu, Dr. Pratibha Madam, even though busy schedule, attended our seminar and gave valuable message to us. We are thankful to Telangana Academy of Sciences for collaborating us to organize this national seminar. Thanking you so much, sir.